velocity, it folds over on the scale. It pegs out the green and goes back over to red. So that's actually higher green here. Inbounds. We see this gigantic wall cloud taking shape just to our south. And we know that this thing's going to get its act together and it's going to produce not a small tornado, but a big tornado. A big, nasty one. So here's the circulation right there going on. Now we're north of this. Tornadoes can take a jog north very easily, so it's really kind of neck and neck here. There's the much better defined hook. See that now? And we're kind of emerging from the neck of that hook, and the inflow is coming in here, causing that notch, swirling on around. And we're moving east towards Highway 177. And then lo and behold, we get two couplets. We get one couplet here to our south, which is the tornado, and then we get another one off to our east. So we've got to be really careful with that. So here's the one to our south. And you can see this is the wall cloud. Large blocky wall cloud, and it's rotating like a top. And then these things here, that's the tornado. That's the vortices for the beginning tornado. So now it's taking more of a hook, a figure 6 shape. And when it takes this figure 6, that means it's wrapping. And that means good chance of a tornado. And you can see actually the notch actually wraps into it too. And then here's the velocity scans. Lots of outbounds now. And then inbounds, again, pegging right there. That's where the tornado is in progress. And we're neck and neck. It's going east, paralleling each other. At times, the tornado is getting close to us. And I mean, this is close. Maybe a half a mile away. It's just sucking in trees. And look at the size of this thing. We call this a wedge tornado. It's when the width of it is actually wider than the distance to cloud base. So this thing's coming over the hill like this thing. And we're now fleeing the darn thing. But we need to deploy. So we get to 177. There's a Dow just to the north of us and an OU radar just to the south of us. So they're already getting data, and we know this. So let's start dropping pods. So we drop some pods, but things are getting kind of windy out there. The velocities here, strong. There's a couplet right there, and another one formed right over there. So there's another tornado southeast. Now when a tornado gets this close, it doesn't look like a tornado. It is a rotating fog bank of flying debris. It is amazing. And the winds here were howling. We had wind gusts near 100 miles an hour, and we're trying to deploy pods in this thing without getting hit. But we got the pods down just in the nick of time. Now, a storm spotter, another friend of mine, Scott Peak, who's probably here today. No, he wasn't. All right. He was taking a view down the road here, and those two white dots are the headlights of our vehicle. And this is the north edge of the wedge, which goes off over here like this. It's a big old wedge, and things are really... We were in front of this thing, and we were dropping pods. So let's look at the Doppler on wheels data. This is a little different color scale. The yellows and browns are going down to the floor, whereas the greens and the purples are going up to the ceiling, okay? So you can just imagine that rotation. Now, there's a bunch of circles in there. The tiny circles are little subvortices, so they're kind of a tornado within a tornado. And the larger black circle, that is the radius of maximum wind. And then the red is the outer edge of the tornado. Now we have a pod there on the road just to the north, and it's already in the tornado. And we are at the intersection, and guess which way that tornado is moving? To the right. And the scale down at the bottom, that is 1 kilometer distance, which is only 0.62 miles. So we're only maybe 1,000 feet from the edge of that tornado. That is very, very close.
And in our business, we'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah, right. And so leaving the station last night, knowing that I was happy to have about 4 hours sleep, driving down the tollway, and I'm watching my radar. I wasn't texting, but I was looking at my radar, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be driving into this. I better just pull over. And I pulled over, and it was about golf ball size, and it didn't, go all the way through the windshield, but it pulled off, and it was golf ball size, and it broke the windshield in 4 different places. And so when I pulled into the dealership this morning to return the loaner, the owner's standing there. He goes, I've been waiting for you to show up. I said, well, here you go. He goes, that's really not bad. He goes, so we had cars last night that had the mirrors knocked off. And all these different dealerships that they own. So I thought, well, I don't feel too badly. He goes, what's the name of your insurance company? so yeah, that was last night. And I know for many of you, probably something similar happened too.
My voice is going here. The biggest hail storm that I certainly remember is the Mayfest storm in Fort Worth back in 1995. And what we call Mayfest, the Main Street Arts Festival and all that, we call that tornado bait, basically. And fortunately, we have good weather now, but I don't know how many tents got blown over in downtown Fort Worth last night. But at that time,
I'm awake now.
I sent a reporter in the direction of the Mayfest storm. Of course, we didn't know how bad the hail was. And of course, what happened was on I-30, everybody stopped to the overpass. And so there were miles of cars that were just stuck and just had to sit there and take it. And so it's hard to believe that a hailstorm can actually total your car, but it totaled thousands of cars that day. And Midge Hill, formerly of Channel 8, she used to be one of the anchors at Channel 11 when I worked there in my very brief and unsuccessful television career. She had a convertible Saab. And it looked like some giant cat had just taken its claws through there and just ripped that top completely apart. But yeah, I wish those lights would get just a little bit hotter. But at any rate, those hailstorms are really terrible. And of course, we've gone through all this safety information again today, but some of you may not have been in some of these earlier presentations. Parking under an overpass is just about the worst thing you can do in the middle of a severe thunderstorm when you're concerned about hail, because as Pete can attest to today, hail is not fatal. Usually it's not deadly. He got through it. So always pull off to the side of the road, or take the exit, really. Take the exit and go to a parking lot or a parking garage and ride the storm out there, because as we've seen before, and I showed you some pictures earlier of the Shields underpass in Oklahoma City, it was completely straight. It was bulldozed clean of all of its vegetation. People had taken shelter up underneath that overpass. One was killed. Several lost limbs because of the wind-blown storm debris that was accelerated up underneath that embankment. So if there's any message that you could take with you today, overpasses are deadly places to park under. Don't worry about the hail. Try to get to a safe spot somewhere completely off the road so people don't run into you. Let the traffic pass, but stay away from the overpasses because they can also flood. And that's something else that we'll have to worry about, I think, somewhat this spring. Tim Marshall was here a little bit earlier. I don't know if you got to see him or not, one of the great storm spotters. And he's expecting a fairly active severe weather.
Put a suit on and I'll go downtown. She goes, no, there's not enough time. Just call into the station. He's on the air right now. And this is a young guy. He was just working part-time for us. She said, just call into the station. And this goes to having all the technology you need at home. So I call into the station. They put me on TV. And I'm telling them, let's show this tower cam, let's do, and you can hear my voice. You can't see me, of course, you can hear my voice. And I'm kind of directing everything through, telling people, hey, it's okay, there's nothing going on. And I felt so badly for the young guy that had been there. So I get to work on Monday, and Hanson says, he goes, what in the heck were you, it's not what he said, but you get the idea. What in the heck were you doing on, were you on TV on Sunday morning? And I said, well, what were you doing up on a Sunday morning? He goes, well, I wasn't awake. He goes, but my wife said she heard you on TV, but she didn't see you. And I said, you are not going to believe where our business has gone to. I said, I was literally, got the phone call, I described the story that I just told to you guys, and I said, she put me on the air right then, just to kind of help this young guy out. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, I just don't know how much longer I want to do this as a business. I said, I've worked my whole career to make it to a major television market, and I'm doing the weather from my office at home in my underwear. And he says, Delkus, you've just figured out the secret to success. He goes, you can do this from home now in your underwear. You don't even have to go to work. And so, you know, we laugh about that, but we do have all the equipment. Then I do these Facebook Lives every Friday morning, or at other times, you know, if the weather necessitates. And I have access to all the equipment we have at Channel 8, and now I can show you guys on these Facebook Lives. So think about,
Well, let's
you know, where
follow up on our contacts, okay, everybody? If you want to, I'll give you my Twitter handle and your Facebook page and all that, so you can keep track of that, all right? What I do during severe weather, when I'm covering severe weather for WBAP, the Cumulus radio station cluster, what I do is between warnings, usually between warnings, I will tweet out radar.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know how that happened. Fortunately, we are not in charge of the controls here. But at any rate, I will tweet out radar loops and radar information and little storm stuff so you can get on Twitter. Brad Barton DFW, at Brad Barton DFW. Follow me anytime like that. And I'll try to keep you informed with tweets as well as on the air. What's your Facebook page?
just Pete Delkus. It's nothing original.
What's your real name?
Yeah. Yeah, people ask all the time, what's your real name? I'm like, you think I made that up? You think that's a stage name or something?